Do you want to learn how to get your music on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and all those other streaming platforms? Well, guess what? Today I'm going to show you the step-by-step process on how to do it. And it's super easy.
You know that we coming liars. I'ma keep praying to God, tell those little niggas stop it. Tell my mama that I got this. You know that we coming liars.
What's going on? It's Pimp Fried Rice. Welcome to the Music in the Millions podcast, the show where we give independent rappers the tools and resources needed to be successful without waiting on a record label. Guys, make sure you like this video if you are excited to find out exactly how to get your music on all streaming platforms, start making royalties off of your music, collect that cheddar, and start to get people to listen to your music whenever they want and whenever they can. And don't forget, if you want to be shouted out on Friday's video, all you got to do is take a screenshot of this episode, share it to your Facebook or Instagram, and tag me in it for a chance to be shouted out in Friday's video. Let's get right into it. I'm going to share my screen. That way you guys can see the exact process to go through. All right, so when you first go to Distrokid, this is the screen that you're going to see. And I'm going to move me out of the way. And what you're going to do from there is you got to sign in or sign up if you don't already have an account. All right, cool. And once you're signed in, it will take you to your dashboard, which basically tells you all of the songs that you have released, any teams that you're on, which basically means any songs that you've worked on with other artists. Like these are all songs that I've produced for other artists. And then it tells you the name of the song, the artist that it's with. This is the code that the team is. That's not really relevant. And then this is the percentage that you get based off of the song. So like 50%, 34%. And that's your royalties collected back into your music. All right, so then the way that you go about uploading a song is you go up here where it says upload, click on that. And now it's going to take you to this screen that is basically the upload page. And so what you do from here is literally just follow all of the instructions. Everything is super clearly mapped out. It's super easy to understand, but I'm just literally going to take you guys through the process. That way you guys aren't confused by any of it. So up here where it says services, this is actually all of the different platforms that your song is going to be uploaded to. So Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all these other places, Deezer, Tidal, some of these I haven't even heard of before, like Ngami or NetEase, which some of these are in beta down here. So if for whatever reason you don't want your song to be uploaded to those platforms, all you got to do is just unselect them like this, and it will pretty much not upload them to that platform. I don't recommend doing that because there's no reason that you really wouldn't want them on every single platform, because the more platforms that your song is on, the more potential you have of fans finding that song. So then after that, you have a Dropbox down here. It says number of songs. And so if you're uploading a single, that's what you want to do. If you're uploading a full project, you can literally upload pretty much as many songs as you want at a time on an album. Then it's going to ask you, is it previously released? Most likely you're going to say no, unless this is something that you like maybe remixed or reworked on, kind of touched back up, and then you just went to re-release it. That is fully possible. So say you finish a song and you're listening back to it and you kind of sit on it for a little bit. And you're like, I feel like we can improve this. You actually can go back into your Distrokid account, re-upload the song. It is going to need to go through the approval process again. So just keep that in mind, but you can definitely do that. That way people can get an updated version of your song. I actually know Kanye West has done that with quite a few of his songs, as well as there's some other artists that have done it as well. Then it's going to ask you the artist or the band name. The reason I have two right here is because I have a label account, which means that I can have more than one artist on my Distrokid. The reason I do that is because I work with a bunch of artists who don't necessarily either have the know-how or the resources to do it themselves. So I kind of take care of that for them. But you're going to make sure you select your name. And then if you want to add new artists, you can just go down here, add new artists. Depending on which account you have, depends on the number of artists that you can have on your account. So right now, I can have 2 different artists on my account. If you have just the basic plan, which is $20, you can only have 1 artist on your account. But if it's just you releasing music, that is perfectly adequate. So then underneath of there, it's going to ask you if you are already in Spotify and already in Apple Music. So if this is your first time releasing a song, like if this is your first single, you are not going to already be on Spotify or already on Apple Music. So you're actually going to need to set that up. Mine is already all set. So basically how that works is if you all are already on Spotify or Apple Music, because maybe you have other songs released on those, they're actually just going to help you locate your account That way, if you have a common name, they're not accidentally uploading your song to someone else's profile and then them thereby collecting your royalties and everything else from it. So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure that your Apple Music and your Spotify is linked to the right account. Otherwise, you can end up getting royalties for someone else and they'll get all the credit for the hit that you made, which is trash. All right, so then you want to set a release date, which, as I told you guys in the last video, you want to make sure your release date is at least 4 weeks out from when you actually want the song to drop. This gives it plenty of time for the song to be approved and for all of the different streaming platforms to make sure your cover art is good, to make sure the song itself is good. That way it uploads on the day that you want it to, and you're not telling fans, oh, it was supposed to come out today, but it did not. All right, so keep that in mind. 4 weeks away from when you have it. Like I just uploaded a song yesterday, and I set it for January 22nd, which is only, I think it was like a day or two under 4 weeks from when I'm recording this video. And it told me, it gave me all these red flags, like make sure it's 4 weeks out, make sure it's 4 weeks out. And I know I was within a day of it, but as long as you're within that 4 weeks or so, you should be good. Just keep that in mind, guys. Pre-order basically says no, don't let anyone buy it until the release date, or yes, let people pre-order it before the release date. I highly recommend that you hit yes. Oh, well, first off, it's going to make me change the date. So let me do that real quick. So we'll say the release date of this song, since we are doing a month out, we will say January 31st, 2021. Is there 31 days in January? Yeah. And then it's going to ask you a time that you want to release it. We'll just say midnight. That way it comes out as soon as the day starts. And just so you know, the time that it releases is based on the time zone that you're in. So I am in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, which means that as of right now, when I'm filming this, it's 9:20. So when it's 9:20 for me, or when it's 12 o'clock for me, I'm sorry, that is when my song is going to drop. It's not going to be 12 o'clock for you guys. It'll be 12 o'clock for me, and it'll roll out everywhere else at the same time, which actually is what this next question down below is, where it says time synchronization. And it says January 31st, 2021, 12 a.m. the listener's time zone, which you give them the option to it be uploaded during their time zone or during your time zone, which I typically just have it set for mine just because I feel like it's easiest, but you can honestly do whichever you prefer in that circumstance. So I'll put it for mine, January 31st, 2021, 12 a.m. in New York and all other countries at the same time, regardless of the time zone. So if you don't select anything, though, it's going to just do it to the listener's time zone. So that way it's, independent of each different time zone. Next is your record label. And that's basically, if you don't have an actual label, you can really just put whatever you want. I just put Rice is Nice because that's my producer tag. I felt like it works for a label name for right now. I don't actually have a label. So if you get to that point, you could just honestly throw whatever you want in there. Next is your album cover art. And guys, I spoke about this in the last video, but I want to just bring it up again. And it even tells you right over here, you need to make sure, says it right here, that your album cover is a JPEG, a PNG, or a GIF extension. These are super important because if it's not one of those, it will not be approved. And you want it to be a square. Don't have a rectangle, circle, triangle, octagon, hexagon, anything that's a weird shape. Make it a perfect square. The best size for it is 3000 by 3000 pixels, which is a massive image. That way it can be shrunk down, blown up, and it's not going to be pixelated or blurry and look like it's really bad. And actually right underneath of that is where they explain that. Don't increase the size of smaller images to make them bigger because it makes it pixelated and blurry. Stores will reject any artwork that contains website addresses, Twitter names, any image that's pixelated, rotated, or poor quality. They're also going to reject anything that has a copyrighted image or prices on the front of the cover art. So keep that in mind, guys. And you have to own everything in the cover art. You can't use something that's already out into the world or a copyrighted image. You will run into issues with that. So to upload the cover art, all you do is click on it. It's going to open up a window asking you to search your computer. I'll just go to my downloads and I will upload the one that I uploaded yesterday. All right, so this is actually the cover art that I'm using for my single that's coming out on January 22nd, Pineapple Games Part 2. So first off, make sure you guys look out for that when it drops. But also, as you see, it fits perfectly into there. It is a nice square. It's not blurry, and it meets all the requirements for that. Next, underneath of there, it's going to ask you the language of the song. Obviously, I'm doing it in English, as you can tell. But if maybe you speak Spanish or something like that, you can also mark that as well. They literally have all these languages, so you should not be without your native tongue. After that is primary genre. If you're a rapper, most likely, I'm assuming, you're going to do hip hop or rap. There are plenty of other genres in there. All right, well, I'm going to just go to the next one. But there's plenty of other genres that you can select in there. And then underneath of there, you can actually select a secondary genre. So maybe you fit into a couple different categories. So alternative, big band, blues. So these are kind of like subgenres. Maybe you blend some genres together. Maybe you make like electronic rap. You can make that your own genre and put those together. So that's just if you want to get a little bit more specific with what the genre is. That way, it's just easily identifiable for fans and listeners. All right, so next, you want to type in the track title. And I'm just going to use the title of the song that's coming out on January 22nd, which is Pineapple Game Part 2. So whenever you type out the name, they actually give you a lot of great information right here that explains the process. All right, so it explains if you have featured artists, they explain the exact way you want to do it. You want to make sure that you type a parentheses, then the word feat with a period. And look, this massive box pops up, which is beautiful because it breaks it down. It says if you have one artist, you literally type feat, and then you just type the artist name, which I do have a feature on this song. It's my homie Pharaoh 215. So I'll type his name and then a parentheses, just like that. And that's how you would have it if you only have one other artist on the song. Say you had a second artist on the song, you actually use an ampersand, which is that funky and symbol. If I can find it on my keyboard, just like that. Make sure you have a space. And then I would say, and Pimp Fried Rice, just because there's not another artist on the song. So that's what it would look like if you had two features on the track. And if you had a third feature on the track, you would separate it with a comma. So you would put comma, somebody, and Pimp Fried Rice. So as you can see, now there is the full title of the song. And this is how it will be displayed when it uploads to Spotify, Apple Music, all the different streaming platforms. Just keep that in mind. Always keep in mind that the feat, as you type that, needs to be lowercase, needs the period, and needs to be in parenthesis. But yeah, so that's what you want to do. So I'm just going to put this back to how I had it, which is with just the one feature. So it looks like that. Pineapple Game Part 2 featuring Pharaoh 215. Cool. And then it also explains, like, if you have parts or volumes to your songs, like mine is actually a part 2, that you want to do PT dot and then the number, or VOL dot and then the number. You don't want to actually write out the whole word. And then it just explains some more things, like if you have multiple parentheses, that you actually would just use brackets instead. If it's a cover song, it explains how you should use your name, not the original artist's name, even though, like, obviously it's a cover of that song. They don't want any confusion there. Don't include any years or dates in the titles, and don't put your producer's information. Like, don't put produced by whoever inside of the title of the song. You can put that in the credits of the song, which we'll get to that point in a couple seconds. So then you need to choose the file of the song. So same idea, you just click where it says choose file, and we're going to go to where I have that song on my computer, which is right here. Open that up, and then that uploads the file. Oh, there we go. All right, so then right underneath of it, it says Songwriter, and that basically asks you, are you the one who wrote this song, or is this a cover song? Yes, I wrote this song, or manage the songwriter. So I wrote this one, select that, or you have the option of another artist wrote it, which that's not the case here. So next underneath of there is the songwriter's real names. And the reason they're asking for the real names and not the stage names is because this is where we're giving the credits of the song. So this is where the person is actually going to get the recognition for what they did. So up here, music and lyrics. Let's see, we'll put my name in there, Jared Daniel Stong. And I put music and lyrics because I made the beat as well as wrote my verse and performed it. If I just made the beat, I would just put music. If I just did lyrics, I would just write that. And then I would add another songwriter because there is a feature on this. But all he did was lyrics. So we're just going to select lyrics. We're going to write Anton. I don't know his middle initial, so we're just going to put P. Newkirk. Anton P. Newkirk. That's your new middle name, bro. All right, so then, is there explicit lyrics? Yes, there is explicit lyrics, because fuck yeah. Is this a radio edit? Now, this part seems like it could be confusing, but it's not as confusing as it seems. So is this a radio edit? Basically is saying no. When it says no, the song is clean and always has been. When you select that, that does not mean that this song is actually clean. There's no explicit words. There's no cursing or anything like that. That just means that this is not a radio edit of a song, meaning this song is how it was made. It's explicit. It's true to form. If you select yes, there is an explicit version, but this is the clean version. That means, like I said in the last video, if you get two different versions of the song made, a clean and an explicit version, that is basically where you would select that. So yeah, if it is an explicit song, I know it seems confusing, but select no, this song is clean and this always has been. Then, is it an instrumental? No, this song contains lyrics, so we're going to select that because otherwise you would select that it contains no lyrics. And then preview clip start time. This is actually pretty nice that they give you this option. Is they can either let the streaming service decide, which will be like, oh, we think the song's going to sound good from 30 seconds till 45 seconds. So that's the little preview we'll give people. Well, you actually have the option to specify. And I know on this song, it starts at 12 seconds because I uploaded it yesterday. So now when people listen to the preview of this song, it's going to start from the 12-second mark, which is where my verse starts, as opposed to letting the intro kind of rock out and everything like that. It gives them a little bit more of an exciting, right off the bat. And then you can set the track price, and you pretty much just have these three options: 69 cents, 99 cents, or 129. I just recommend keeping it that middle price of 99 cents. No real reason behind it. That's just what I do. I just don't really find a need to touch it. Now, these extras, they do cost money, so keep that in mind, but you do not have to do this. These are just awesome features that Distrokid offers, and anything that you do select will just get charged to your credit card, obviously. So the first one is YouTube money, which basically means if anybody uses your song in a YouTube video, you are actually going to get paid for that, which is pretty cool because now you basically get added to YouTube's Content ID, which is their tracking program, that whenever a song is played, it will register that and you actually get a royalty stream from it, which is pretty cool. Just keep that in mind. It does cost a little bit more money. Next is Store Maximizer, which is as Distrokid adds more stores to the streaming platforms that they upload to, they'll continue to upload your song to it. So say they only had 4 streaming platforms when you uploaded this song, and then 3 months later, they added 4 more stores that they begin to upload to. Now your song, if you selected that feature, Store Maximizer, will be uploaded to those songs. You don't need to do anything different. You don't need to worry about anything. So that's a really good feature if you plan on keeping your songs on here for a long time, which obviously most of us do. So I would recommend doing that if you want it to constantly be rolled out to these new platforms. Underneath of that is Shazam and iPhone Siri. That's pretty cool. It's only 99 cents a year, and that is if someone says, hey, Siri, what song is this? Or hey, Shazam, or however that works. Oh, I just activated my Siri. I got to turn that off. So yeah, or Shazam, what song is this? It'll figure it out, and people will actually be able to identify the song, and it will pop up. So that's pretty cool. Leave a legacy, which is the most expensive feature that they have, but it's pretty cool. Basically means is if your credit card is declined and for whatever reason they have to delete your Distrokid account or suspend your Distrokid account, leave a legacy. If you mark that for a song, it means no matter what happens to you or to your account, like you could even die and never be able to pay for your shit again, that song will not be deleted off of Distrokid. They will keep it on all streaming platforms, and it'll still be able to collect those royalties, and you'll be able to leave a legacy for future generations, as it says down there. All right. The next section under here, this is the last section, guys. We're getting to the very end of the process. Like I said, nothing super hard, just some things that you want to keep in mind as you're doing it. And now these boxes are mandatory to be checked in order for it to go through. So I'm just going to read these to you real fast. I selected YouTube Music as a store, so I won't email Distrokid later asking, why'd you upload my music to YouTube? What this means is when you upload your song through Distrokid, they actually create a topic YouTube for you, which a topic YouTube is just your artist page. So your song is going to be uploaded there as well. So they don't want you to go on YouTube one day and see, Pimp Fried Rice /topic on YouTube, and you'd be like, who the fuck is this? This is not my account. Why is my music up there? That's what Distrokid did. Distrokid uploaded your music to this account, so that way you can basically have people checking it out through YouTube. So just keep that in mind. So we will check that. I recorded this music and I'm authorized to sell it in stores worldwide and collect royalties. Yes, that basically just means that you have full permission to use this song, beat, lyrics, everything else, and you have the ability to collect the royalties from it. I'm not using any other artist's name in my song, album, or name title without their approval. That's pretty self-explanatory. Yes. Non-standard capitalization detected. Apple may convert to standard capitalization per paragraph 3.21 in the Apple study guide or style guide. Basically, that just means if your name is all over the place with capital letters, lowercase letters, dashes, numbers, that Apple Music actually may just make them all capital or make them all lowercase or make the first letter capital and the rest lowercase, kind of how standard style text would look. Just keep that in mind if you have a really weird name. If your name's pretty regular, you're not going to run into that issue. And lastly, I have read and agreed to the terms of the Distrokid distribution agreement. All you got to do if you want to read their agreement is just click that little button and you can read through all the stuff and then just check the box. And then when you hit done, I'm not actually going to hit done because I uploaded this song yesterday and I don't want to confuse Distrokid. But yeah, that is the process. All you would do is hit done and voila, you will have had your song uploaded to Distrokid. And then what happens is they collect all your royalties in a bank when people listen to your music, and then you basically have access to pull that money out whenever you want. Just one thing to keep in mind is your royalties are about 3 to 4 months behind when they're actually collected. So if someone listens to your song today, you won't see the money from that for 3 to 4 months. So don't be like, why am I not getting money all of a sudden? It takes some time. Just keep that in mind. But that is the simple process that it takes to upload your song to Distrokid. Like I said, pretty self-explanatory. I just wanted to walk you guys through it in case any of you guys didn't know. All right, so I'm going to switch back from my screen, and I'll see you guys in a second. So as you guys can see, that was such a simple process. You just got to literally follow the steps as it takes you through them. This is how you get your songs onto all streaming platforms, and you can start to generate those royalties, start to just, make yourself a more serious artist and really get your music career started. If you want to sign up for Distrokid, which is what I use to distribute my music, obviously based off of this tutorial, hit the link down below and you can actually get a discount when you sign up for your first year of Distrokid, get a little bit of incentive to join the distro family and get your music heard by the world. Guys, drop a comment if this was helpful, if you are also on the Distrokid family, and if not, which distribution company do you use? I would love to know. Let me know. I'll see you guys on Friday. Peace.